Hey everybody, it's your good buddy Dow Jones Dave here, and having a good day today, and having actually a pretty good week. I'm going to go over some positions, my positions that I'm in, to see if possibly they might be applicable for a new money short. And also some more stocks that I got off of the most active list. Now, first of all, what are my positions? And that's my positions so far. I have actually was in Intel yesterday and closed it because it went up. My option went up 100%, and I have a rule which I should have broke because I want to hold for 30 days. Maybe not 30 days, however long it takes, I want to hold because I think there are big gains afoot for a put option holder. The reason this says 8,000% is because it keeps track of every trade you ever made. I traded this option multiple times, okay, and it keeps track of every time you trade it. And I wish it didn't do that, because then I'd have to explain that I took a monstrous reserve. Can you see it here? Well, you can't really see it. This is futures, so you can't really see it. The gap. And there's a high here. And we gapped, and then we came down, and then came back up, and I bought a bunch of extra contracts on the way up, and I would have bought more if it went up here, and then if it broke that high, I would have sold out. It never did. It fortunately pretty quickly just started down, and I had my whole reserve in it, which is half my account, and because of that, I ended up 8,000% on the total number of trades I did of that contract, because I bought a bunch of contracts. So anyway, I wish they didn't do that, because then I wouldn't have to explain how that number got there. That's TD Ameritrade, by the way. So what do we got going here? We have, first of all, a runaway correction. And runaway correction is when the market logically should have corrected, i.e. she got some kind of relief rally maybe there, but instead does this, i.e. a zipper trend. And it's really narrow, actually. Well, you could call that a descending wedge that might break to the upside, but I personally don't think so, and I'll tell you why. Right here, this is a 4-hour chart. Treasury bonds. Treasury bonds, actually, if you go to the 1-hour chart, failed, retested, which typically would be a short, but it's a technical failure. And this is what happens when you get a technical failure. It reacts violently in the opposite direction. That's why you always want to wait for it to bounce off that retest before you actually short. Make sure you're not going to get this instead. And, when the market's been going up, the thought of this is pretty scary, actually. The probability is not low. So, not so low. Generally, they don't do this, but it happens. Happening on bonds. So because of this, I think this is going to cream the market. And it is creaming the market. Now, if you look at the 1 hour, this is pretty overextended. But there's room to go before it would be say, wow, that's never been done before, at least in recent memory. It's still pretty low. But look how the market's reacting to the movement. We had a whole movement here where it went, it's so, you can see it come down, close the gap, possibility. I wouldn't trade that, by the way, not with this, not the way this looks, not so close to this, and it broke out of this. You see this consolidation? Now it's playing around with these spikes, and these spikes don't offer a whole lot of resistance. So I wouldn't necessarily long this, but I sure wouldn't short it. And if I did, I wouldn't expect a lot out of the short. So because of this movement in bonds, the S&P is down now 15 more. Still staying within the bounds of that. If we go to a 5-minute chart, it looks a little different, but you still see the same thing. Channel. Go to the 1 hour. So anyway, that's I'm short. I expect to stay short for a while because this looks like a downside breakout. It is a downside breakout. Took out all these formations here, and so you'd have to expect maybe the next stop to be maybe here. 30 more points before we catch a relief rally, but I think more likely, yeah, it seems reasonable. You know, I trade real time on these, and like I said, I'm trying to hold throughout the period because that gives you the best gains, actually. So if it keeps going, and I believe it will. So let's go over my positions and whether I think maybe a new money short would be applicable. First, we have Palantir. Yeah, I think you could short this. Now, keep in mind, I'm just giving you, well, see, I am short Palantir, and I'm holding short. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to recommend you to short it, okay? But what I see is you got a trend line here, and it broke. We've got the one-day MACD rolling over. The hourly is broken, not likely to try to retest under these conditions. 5 minutes straight down, and the 4 hour just crossed and is accelerating. So Palantir, I'm holding my short. All right, Shopify. I'll be holding my short on Shopify too. It's down a little bit more after market. And what are we on? The 1 hour is rolling over. 4 hours going straight down. Daily is accelerating. So I'm holding my short on this one. I expect it to, at the very minimum, retest this low, and more likely than not, probably close this gap. So that's what I'm trading for. I've held Shopify for 2 days now, or something like that. Yeah, I got beat up the first day I had it, so I must have got it right here. And PayPal. MACD solid. Can you see that? Probably not. There we go. Bounced off and I doubled down. It's not good. That's the 1 hour. 4 hour rolling over. Looks like it's going to accelerate. The daily is going to cross. So I'm holding my short on PayPal. Don't really have a target. You know, I guess maybe this 57, a few more bucks down. Don't know. But I'm not closing my short on PayPal. Bank of America, a new short today. Actually, I closed it because it didn't do too well. Let's see how I did on Bank of America today. Day gain 22, 22. I put a reserve into Bank of America and it didn't work out. I sold it and kept the original contract. So it did. Weird that it didn't keep track of that here, but it kept track of it here and said 8,000. I don't think it was 8,000%. So that's weird, you know. We'll just, this is the extra trade. This is what we're actually up on these positions. Okay. So, Bank of America. Hour just crossed. Daily's rolling over. And the 4 hour just crossed. So, I don't know if you saw it. Forgot to, yeah, see that. That's the 1 hour. 1 day. I see it coming down and retesting the bottom. Another 60 cents before you might want to take a bit, you know. This is a box formation kind of, so if it breaks down below here, who knows where it's going to go. But I'm not closing my short because I just opened it today, actually. Uber. I don't have Uber. I'm thinking about trading it. It broke that trend line, but it also has a potential trend line here. So Uber may rally up, I think. Or if it breaks, that would be a technical failure because it should do 3 minimum before it breaks, you know, for a healthy market. The daily MACD does not look good. 5 minute looks like you could get a rally out of it. And you see technically there's a retest to be made there. So you could get up to there, I think. Well, trend line always looks different on the different scales. So the most recent broke trend here is there. So you can get a retest to that, maybe. Don't know. On a larger scale, your retest is here, and I think that looks more likely. I don't think it will make it all the way back up to there. Unless the 5 minute can bring it up, because none of the other oscillators in any larger time frames are any good. See, yeah, that's steepening. And on the 4 hour, we do have 3 moves. Bang, an island reversal. So, yeah. I don't think Uber's going up. It's up to you or not if you want to put money in it. I haven't decided. We'll see where it opens tomorrow. Block. These are all from the most actives, by the way. Only got a couple of minutes. You can see what's going on with block here. It's fallen below this resistance and probably coming down here. Probably going down a lot. So I'm liking this for a short. Pinterest I don't have, and you saw the port. You know it. So these are things I like it because it's up. You see that it was upgraded, but do you think that will make any difference in a market meltdown? See, I'd rather short a stock that's up. Now, you see, it's got a nice gap to close here. 27 to 75 cent gap, which is enough to make you some money, by the way. So let's see what the MACD looks like. I don't have much time. So I'll just go over it real quick. That's the 1 day. Looks like we might get some rally. I think it may retest. 1 hour, however, looks pretty good for a short. 5 minutes. Nothing there. 4 hour. 4 hours says up. Don't know what it's going to do, so I wouldn't short that right away. This is RTX. They make engines for aircraft, and their engines suck this year. I guess their latest engine is having all kinds of problems, and went out